Good morning, guys. Welcome in. I am in the yard this morning and here at the back garden with Miss Tika, and we are enjoying this beautiful morning. It's so comfortable right now. Not hot, not humid. It's just perfect. And basically, I am out taking a look at the work that I did over the weekend. I did quite a bit and I did record it for you. So I'm just going to take you there and let you see what I got done. But I'll tell you, I removed some of the dead gardenia radicans, transplanted salvia, planted tomatoes, got some one of the raised beds. I started getting that area ready and cleaned up. So guys, let me take you back to this weekend and show you what I got done. All right, guys, so I'm going to be moving this salvia and this salvia from here, and I'm going to be moving them over here. And I think what I'm going to do is start the walkway out with them. So there's one on each side of the stones there. And if I'm able to get my hands on some rockin' blue suede shoes, because I really want to start trying some of the Proven Winners flowers, I am going to do that and replace these, because these kind of get leggy. They don't seem to really give the number of spires, blooms that I really want. But that's what I'm able to get my hands on here. And right now they're coming back up, so I'm going to get them while they're still young before they really start blooming and things like that. So let's get those moved. This one split into two, so we'll take advantage of that, and that will give us two more salvia to put somewhere else, or one. We'll see how many come out of that one over there, but we're going to put these on the front. So guys, I still see wires there, so I'm going to move the salvia back. All right, guys, well, I've got the salvia transplanted, so I'll show you what that looks like, and I'll show you what's left over of the salvia that's back in the back long border, and I'll find somewhere to put those other two pieces. But I did not move the shrubs yet. We're going to come back for that in a few days when I get the shrubs that I've ordered from back there, because I don't want to dig them up and plant them until I have the other shrubs, because I want to make sure they're centered perfectly and everything is spaced properly. But we'll be coming back for that. So today, this part of the video, we've moved the salvia, so let's look at that. And guys, my neighbors have started, their lawnmowers are here, so you'll hear that in the background. I apologize, but you can see the salvias are here, and we have pretty heavy rains coming this afternoon, so I am not going to do anything. And I still left space here for something that has shallow roots, especially for that side. I don't have wires over here, but of course, whatever we do, we'll make sure they kind of complement or match each other. So those are the salvias there. And like I said, if I can get my hand on some rockin' blue suede shoes from Proven Winners, I will. But here, I have to refill my holes here. But here is one, which is actually, you can see down there starting to come up. This is part of the one that was here. So it looks like it may have multiplied itself, and same here. There's the other one that was part of the one that I got two out of. So that is where they came from. And those are the shrubs. Stay tuned for part 2 of this video. We will be back in a few days because I want to show all of this in one video. And we will get these planted and get those shrubs transplanted and put in front of the evergreens. But before we go, I just love that. It's so pretty. All right, guys, anyway, that's day 1. We'll be back and we'll finish up the rest of that planting. All right, bye. All right, guys, it is the next day. I don't have my evergreens yet, so what I am going to do is work in the vegetable garden, and I'm going to start planting some of my vegetables. I think I want to get my tomatoes in ground today. Let me show you some of the vegetables I have and show you where I'm going to be working. So I am heading over here. It's midday, so there's going to be a lot of sun glare this afternoon, so just bear with me. Alright guys, these are some tomatoes and African basil and bell peppers and habaneros and a few strawberries. So I'm going to get the tomatoes in ground today. And let's see. These are some seedlings that were actually growing from some vegetables from last season in the garden. I went ahead and got some of them up and put them in a tray to see if I can grow them. That's an experiment for me. But for now, let me tell you what tomatoes I have. I have the Better Bush tomato. And I have 2 of those. I have Bella Rose, 1 of those, and I have 2 Early Girl tomatoes. So that is what I have as far as tomatoes are concerned. I'll show you the other vegetables as I get them planted. And as we go to the vegetable garden, this is the bed I'm going to be working in, probably this side. I'll go ahead and get them all weeded. Here are some of the seedlings here that I dug up to put in that tray. And there's a bunch of little seedlings over here as well that I dug up. So there's 2 different kinds of vegetables that drop seed that I'm trying to see if I can grow those seeds. But this bed right here and that bed there are pretty much cleared out and ready to go. So I'm going to turn the soil over, loosen it up on both sides, and I've got a few bags of soil for vegetables and flowers. So we're going to get the tomatoes out today, and we're going to work here first. So my plan, I think, for this season as far as growing pattern is to do tomatoes here, habaneros here, bell peppers, and I'll figure out what I'm going to do there. Probably okra. We'll see. But for sure, I want to put my tomatoes here, my habaneros here, and my bell peppers back there. So each section will be filled with one type of vegetable. And we're going to go with extra of the ones that we use the most in the house, which are the tomatoes, the bell peppers, and the habaneros. So, as I step back, you'll see those 2 beds that are ready. So this is where we're going to start with today. So let me grab the tomatoes, let me grab my gloves and my shovel, and we'll get this broken up and get it refilled. So I've got bone meal to add to the soil. I actually got bone meal and blood meal, but I'm going to use the bone meal for right now. All right, guys, well, I have the tomatoes in, and this bed I did the other side. I went ahead and broke the soil up and got the enrichments with the bone meal and the beneficial bacteria. Just as a reference for those of you who followed me last year, you know. For those who are new, I got these beds last year and put them together, I think in March or so. It was either March or the end of February. I believe it was March. Anyway, I feel like I have something on my lips. But anyway, I used broken bags to fill all of these beds. That way I could save money and still, you know, have some finances to buy vegetables and things like that and do other things in the garden. So that was my fast way of filling the beds up, is just by buying broken bags. So I went to different garden centers and I would get their broken bags, which were usually like $1.99, $2. You can even get broken bags at Home Depot. I can't remember how much they cost at Home Depot. But anyway, that is a tip for you guys. If you need to fill beds or whatever and you need a lot of soil, you can get broken bags. And so I was able to do that, you know, so the beds are not all filled with the same things. It's mostly the same things that I got, but whatever I had at that time is what I used to fill up whatever particular bed. This bed back here with the turnip greens, I call that my most expensive bed, because the day that I went out and got broken bags there, I hit the jackpot. I got some pretty expensive products. A soil with mycorrhizal bacteria in it, which priced at about $13 a bag. Cow manure, which is $14.99 a bag. So this bed is filled up with like the most expensive stuff. And I actually feel like it did the best over all the other beds, but the other beds did pretty good. This bed here, I would say, was probably one that performed the worst. And I don't know if it was the soil or just the vegetables we tried out. But anyway, I wanted to enrich the soil, so I put bone meal, I broke the soil up, put bone meal and my Espoma organic fertilizer that has the beneficial bacteria and yeast in it, and I mix that into the lower layers of the soil so that can be refreshed and enriched. And then I'm topping it with fresh Miracle-Gro garden soil for vegetables and flowers. And so that is what it's being topped with. And in the holes I put in the bone meal and plant tone. So that is what I did. So let me show you what I've done so far with the bed. All right, so here it is, and this year I want to try to really fill them up to the top. So I'm going to go ahead and just invest and make sure I can get them filled up pretty good. And when I laid the gravel, I made sure to raise the level of the bag, what do you call this, the fabric, so that it can kind of go around the soil. I keep saying the wrong word. So it could go around the raised bed. My mind is mixed up today. So that it can hold the soil inside. And then I've got the bricks here, this gravel. As you can see, I've got them on all the beds up a little higher to add as a support to hold the soil in the bed, because they were coming out from, it was coming out from the bottom, because this area isn't fully leveled. So if you saw the video where I put the gravel in, you will have seen that. You can go back and look at that video. So that is how I'm holding the soil in. And so anyway, this is what it looks like, and this is the bed that I started on. It took I had 4 bags of that Miracle-Gro soil, and it took 3 here. And so I started this one. I put 1 in here. This one's going to take more because it's lower. So yeah, that's where things are. And I did go ahead and pull the weeds from this bed. I need to dump those out. and we'll get those beds back there prepped. But we've got our tomatoes in, so I just need to get them watered in, and I feel like the soil is really nutrient rich now, so I have some confidence and hope in this bed here this year. And I'm also rotating my vegetables. The last couple of years, when this was when I was planting in ground, I planted tomatoes over here, and then when I did the raised bed last year, I planted tomatoes here again. So I'm just kind of rotating things and putting them in different spots. So that is what we got done today, and I'm excited to get the vegetables out. But anyway, that's it for this part of the garden for right now. So let's see what else we can do real quick before we go in, because as you can see, the clouds are moving in, and it's definitely making me think we're going to get some rain. So anyway, I am thinking that I'm going to do some work over here. Alright, so if you remember, guys, yesterday when I was out, I dug up the salvias and divided them. Well, the two little scraggly pieces of salvia left, I'm going to dig those up, and I'm going to put them over here along the foundation of the house. As you recall, I said that there's going to be work done over here at some point. So I was pulling, some major things up like the boxwoods, but flowers, I don't mind, moving them here, and then we can move stuff out later, but at least to make it look good for now until we get to that work. So let me show you where I'm thinking of putting it. So I'm standing right here in front of this window, and the gardenia radicans, which this one actually has a few little green leaves on it, but I think pretty much dead. And that one is too. I'm thinking I'm going to dig those up and just do a collection of pretty tall flowers back here. So I've got those salvia, so I can start with those, and I can add some other things and just have that here for now. And if we get to our project sooner, they'll come out. If it takes us a little bit longer to get to it, a few months down the road, I will just have them here for beauty in the meantime. But yeah, so I'm going to move the salvia there, and I think that's all I'm going to get done for today. Alright guys, well, I've got the salvia in back here. I have to prune it down, and of course we've got the vegetables done, and we got the salvia from yesterday planted over here. So I just got to get the vegetables and this back here watered in, And that's going to be it for today. I want to thank you guys for joining me in the garden, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.